Whether they're athletes or celebrities, in general, controversy never fails to leave anyone. Same in the case with America's favorite Terrence Crawford, boxing champion who is quite known for his association with wild controversies. Today in this video, we'll be talking about Terrence Crawford's most controversial moments in his career. So let's jump right into this video. Make sure to watch this video till the very end so you don't miss out on any of the details. When Crawford was found guilty and sentenced to jail for 90 days. Not the kind of news you'd expect from an undefeated boxing champion, but back in 2016, Crawford got involved in an incident that happened in an auto car shop, and well, things just did not go well. Unlike most of his controversies, this one was not in Crawford's favor at all. Crawford walked into the garage with 4 other men trying to get his '84 Monte Carlo back, which still had a lot of work in it that had not been done. The shop owner Nelson said that Crawford brought that car into the shop months back, and when the shop owner asked for more money in order to repair the front windshield, sanding, and a little bit of paint work, Crawford refused to pay, and after months he randomly dropped by his shop trying to forcefully take his car back. According to surveillance videos, Crawford did not show up alone but was also accompanied by 4 other men. The shop owner says that Crawford knocked his hands down, and along with the help of one of the men, he then tried to move the motor out from underneath his car. Crawford's car was on a hydraulic press, and while the men were able to get the car back down, they also broke the lift in the whole process. Nelson tried to close the gates of the garage, but he couldn't, and Crawford, along with the men, drove his car out of the garage. Nelson also said that Crawford kept on saying that he can do anything as he has money. Crawford's attorney argued that there's no way that the boxer would have been in the garage part of the shop, as it was an employees-only zone, but the surveillance footage provided enough evidence to prove that Crawford was in fact guilty. The undefeated boxing champion was then accused of disorderly conduct, trespassing, and property damage at the Extreme Custom Fleet and Auto Spa. Upon further investigation, his trespassing charges were dropped out, but he was in fact found guilty of misconduct and property damage. For this, Crawford was sentenced to 90 days in jail, but he got out on bail with paying $10,000. The final verdict of this case was something that Crawford's attorney did not accept, and his lawyer said that the judge who made the decision is a good one, but he just cannot agree with her on this one. He also said that such things happen very frequently in America. Not only Crawford, but the other 4 men involved in this were also found guilty of the same things. This controversy is one in which Crawford was indeed one of the bad guys. The eye-swelling controversy. Last year in 2020, Crawford had a match with Kell Brook in Las Vegas, which ended up with Brook's right eye getting swollen, and not in a way which usually happens to boxers. His eye had gotten swollen to such an extreme level that he couldn't even keep it open. At the beginning of the match, Crawford played very slowly with focusing on defense first, and Kell Brook was on a roll with throwing all sorts of punches from every side. This fight was important for both of them as Crawford had to retain his welterweight title and Kell Brook had to get it back for himself. For the first 3 rounds, it could have seemed easily that Brook had the whole win in his pocket, never be 100% sure of anything in boxing, and after the first 3 rounds took a different turn with Crawford dominating the fight the way he normally does. Crawford then started showing all of his boxing skills that he is known for and gave everything to his fight. At one point, he gave such a huge blow to Brook that Brook went straight into the ropes. Brook already had quite the number of broken facial bones as he was playing with different other star boxers for this title, but this one fight in the end took his facial structures to another level. Crawford gave such a hard hit to Brook that his right eye ended up swelling to such an extent that he couldn't even keep his eyes open after that. Even Brook admitted to this and said that at one point during the fight he thought that Crawford was controlling him, as no one in his entire career has fought with him like that. And that coming from Brook tells us how intense the fight must have been. Crawford said that Kell Brook has many talents and there's no denying the fact that he's an amazing boxer, but tonight Brook lost because Crawford was better. Even though this incident became quite controversial after this, the footage of the fight can show everyone that Crawford played with a well-thought strategy as he completely understood his opponent's weaknesses and strengths. His controversial win against Amir Khan. In April 2019, when Crawford defended his WBO welterweight title in New York, it seemed as if Crawford did not win this title with a fair and square fight, but instead won the title with hitting Amir Khan with a low blow that hit him below the belt. This move is termed illegal in the rules of boxing, and even on the replays of that shot, it can be seen that his hit indeed reached below the belt. Amir Khan is a name known to many as he is one of the greatest boxers of all time. This fight was very important for both Crawford's and Khan's career, and the fight just ended up being highly controversial. During the first 5 minutes minutes, everything was going neutral, with Crawford delivering some of his biggest blows ever, and with Khan doing the same, but also with the correct defense techniques. During the 6th round, as the two were fighting, Crawford was seen attacking Khan with a low blow. According to the boxing rules, the player who gets hit with such a move is given 5 minutes to recover and get back in the game. But Khan was hit in such a way that he couldn't move his legs or anything below his chest. Khan said that his stomach was in a lot of pain with that hit. Khan's coach then informed the judges that he cannot continue anymore, and because of that, Crawford's hit was termed an accidental low blow hit. When asked about it, Crawford said that he hit him on his leg, which is acceptable, but the video replays show that Khan was hit very badly, which made him unable to play for the rest of the fight. This fight's probably the biggest controversy that Terence Crawford has ever faced in his career in boxing, as it does not justify his win that made him retain his welterweight title. However, many big names from the boxing world said that Khan could have easily continued his fight where he left it, but instead sent his trainer to rescue him from the fight. Many thought that Khan had just made up an excuse to not fight anymore and he basically quit. Some even said that because of this act, they don't ever want to see Khan play anymore because this attitude was nothing but sort of an excuse to save himself from getting completely knocked out by Terence Crawford. Even during the press conference, Terence Crawford was backed by his huge pool of fans who never for a second thought that Crawford won accidentally despite Khan's claims. There's no doubt in saying that he has a huge pool of loyal fans. With each controversy, one thing has remained constant, that is Crawford's undying support from his fans all over the world. No matter what, they have his back and have always defended him in public. So even if he gets himself involved in the wildest of controversies, he has his fans to get him out of it no matter what. He's the best of the best no matter what. Even with getting himself involved with such controversies, no one can deny the fact that Terence Crawford is the best boxer ever. He's had such an amazing career so far, with having won a lot of world championships and titles to his name. There's hardly anyone who can defeat this undefeatable boxing champion, and he still is on his way to win more fights in the future. He's also been ranked as the world's second best active boxer by ESPN in July of 2021. With this video, one thing is clear, that when you're famous and successful, controversy will always find a way towards you through one way or another. Well, that's it for today's video. We'll see you in the next one.